What are the 7 biggest technology trends for 2020 that you have to be ready for right now? Hi, I'm Bernard Ma, and in this video I want to look at the key technology trends. As a business and technology futurist, I get asked this question all the time. What are the biggest trends businesses and people in those businesses need to get ready for? And I'm currently writing a new book on all the big long-term technology trends that will come out next year. But what I do every year is to look ahead just 1 year and say, okay, what is going to happen next year? What's going to happen in 2020? So let's look at the 7 biggest trends for this year. The first trend is artificial intelligence as a service. In lots of my videos, I talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning and how it is completely transforming our world. What I see is, and I've just, as you might have seen my most recent book, Artificial Intelligence in Practice, where I look at how 50 companies are now using AI and machine learning in practice. So what we're seeing is companies are starting to apply this technology and is starting to change our businesses. However, what I see is that lots of businesses still see developing their own AI infrastructure as a really expensive proposition. So what is happening now is that more and more organizations use AI as a service. This basically means I can now go to companies like Google, like Amazon, like Microsoft, and simply say, I would like to apply artificial intelligence to my processes. I've got some data that I can use to train my machine learning algorithms, and they can then supply the algorithms, they can supply the infrastructure, and you simply pay as a service. And this is a massive trend and one that is going to get bigger in 2020. So for me, the first trend, artificial intelligence in general, will make a big impact on businesses. We will get used to working alongside AIs, but in particular, the as a service offering will make a real big difference to companies. Trend number 2 is 5G. This basically is the 5th generation of mobile networks. So this means you've probably seen the evolution from 3G to 4G. It basically has given us faster connectivity on our mobile phones. On 4G, you can now easily watch videos. What 5G will do is it will accelerate this. It will give us speeds that are very similar to what we have in terms of high-speed internet connections into our homes and into our businesses. It will reduce the latency, so everything will be a lot faster, and it will make those connections more reliable. This has huge implications. Not only that we will have mobile phones that are 5G enabled, where we can easily stream music and videos, but for businesses, especially connecting machinery for self-driving cars, all of these devices, all these Internet of Things, smart devices need reliable, fast connectivity to push data forwards and backwards from the cloud. And 5G is going to make a massive difference with all of this. What we're currently seeing is that this is starting to be rolled out. So we see this in inner cities of major capitals. We see this in confined areas. But in 2020, we will see much wider coverage, and we will see costs of 5G connectivity going down. So we will have not only better connected mobiles, we'll become much less reliant on fiber connections into our houses and into our homes, and we can simply use the 5G network to have amazingly fast and reliable internet connectivity everywhere and be able to transfer data everywhere. And so what I do as a business futurist is I help businesses understand what this means, and 5G is one area that we're looking at very intensively with lots of businesses, helping them to understand what this means for offering completely new products and services, improving their internal processes, connecting machines, and things like predictive maintenance. So 5G is another massive trend. The third trend to look at is autonomous driving. Again, this is a trend I have spoken about a lot. Lots of my videos talk about the future of transport and autonomous driving. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, has basically said that by the end of 2019, he will have his cars, the Teslas, will be completely autonomous, and hopefully we'll see by 2020 that those cars will be on the road, being able to drive anywhere completely autonomously. Currently, we're still seeing lots of issues around regulation, lots of issues around infrastructure, but if 5G comes along, we won't have those infrastructure issues anymore, and I can see self-driving cars everywhere. When I talk about autonomous driving, it's not just completely self-driving cars, it's also that we'll see an evolution towards that, so steps taken. For example, we now have cars that have lane assistance, so they will watch where you're driving and they help you to switch lanes, and cars that will brake automatically and detect hazards. So this is going to happen more and more. Again, it's not just cars. We now have self-driving ships, self-flying drones, and robot delivery. So where I live in Milton Keynes, we have the Starship robots that now deliver my Amazon parcels, they deliver my local shopping. So we will see more autonomous driving as a massive trend in 2020. My fourth trend for 2020 is predictive and precision medicine. We're currently seeing is this complete transformation of healthcare and medicine, where technology is making a really big difference. So recent advances in Internet of Things technology, so smarter devices, in addition to artificial intelligence and some real breakthroughs in genomics, mean that we can now have much more predictive capabilities. Just think about things like the Apple Watch. There was recently been an article that the Apple Watch could potentially extend someone's life by 2 years because it can monitor your heart conditions, it can give you warnings. And this is going to happen more and more, that we will have more smart devices helping to monitor us, and we will have the development in genomics that help us to target treatment specifically to you. So the healthcare system, doctors will be able to detect what your genetic makeup is, and then they can find treatments that will work best for you, deliver the best outcomes for you as an individual. And we see massive advances. So again, I've recently written about some of the latest trends in medicine and healthcare, so you can explore this further on my website. My fifth trend for 2020 is computer vision. Again, this has been on my radar for a number of years, but we are seeing real acceleration in this at the moment, where we now have amazing capabilities of machines that are able to recognize what is on a photograph. They can now recognize things in video footage, and obviously we have face recognition capability, which is making a big impact. We now have devices like the latest iPhones that use Face ID, so basically a face recognition, a face scan to allow you to log on in terms of security. But we will see massively new advances. We've seen this recently in companies that operate in China, some taxi operators, or Didi, the competitor to Uber in China. They're now using face recognition technology in their vehicles to recognize drivers, and for both security purposes and billing purposes. We've seen this in Amazon's trial stores, where they use face recognition technology to monitor who you are and then what you're buying. So the cameras will watch what you're putting into your shopping bags, and you simply walk out and the system will charge you appropriately. So this is technology that will evolve very fast in 2020 and is something every company needs to watch out for. My sixth trend for 2020 is extended reality. I've recently done a few videos on this, subscribe to the channel if you never want to miss any of these. Or head to my website where I have a complete section on extended reality. Basically what we're seeing is 3 different types. We see virtual reality, where we completely immerse ourselves into the digital world using headsets, or we have augmented reality, where we overlay things onto the real world using computer screens or glasses. And we have mixed reality, where we overlay digital objects into the real world, like a hologram, and we are able to interact with this. And what we've recently seen is that technology is evolving so fast in this space. So Microsoft has just released their latest HoloLens, a mixed reality headset that is probably leading edge. We're seeing augmented reality being used by companies to try things out. I've recently done a few videos on this, talking about how companies like Rolex are now using this technology to allow you to use your phone screen to basically try out Rolex watches using augmented reality. So this whole idea of try before you buy will make a big impact and will definitely go mainstream in 2020. And my 7th trend for 2020 is blockchain technology. In the news we hear a lot about Bitcoin and its price going up and down. When I talk about blockchain, I don't necessarily talk about the Bitcoin cryptocurrency. I talk about the business applications of blockchain. And lots of those are probably not traditional blockchains. They're more what I call distributed ledgers. So they're not completely distributed, but they're run by a number of companies. So we have the benefits of blockchain technology, but not necessarily some of the downsides. And what we've seen in this year is that companies like FedEx and companies like Walmart and MasterCard are heavily investing into blockchain technology. And then, of course, in 2020, we will see the launch of Facebook's Libra cryptocurrency coin. Again, a collaboration with other organizations like Uber and Spotify that will all be part of this. So we will see blockchain technology as a major technology trend. And again, on my website, you can find tons of articles explaining all the background on blockchain, on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies if you're interested in this. Or browse my channel where I have lots of examples on this too. So those are my 7 trends. Hopefully they're useful. I believe very much that every business and every individual really needs to get to grips with these 7 trends to be ready for 2020.